We're in this really unusual and uncertain time in our country. And giving yourself permission to challenge yourself is really important right now. And, you don't have to be fearless all the time, but there are things that you could do in your everyday life that, you've been putting on the shelf and you didn't think you could do.
Embrace your inner child. You're gonna get out there, you're gonna play in the dirt, you're going to jump on things, you're going to swing off things, you're gonna fall. And you're gonna smile and have a good time while doing it. It's gonna build character. It's gonna make you feel powerful when you leave. You're gonna be very happy that you did it. You're gonna feel like you accomplished something, and you did.
Joe Sena here, CEO and founder of Spartan. I am bringing you Spartan Up podcast like we do every week. We are your accountability and resiliency partner. Standing on the farm right now. We got a lot of shit going on. I got a give team here. I got parents sending me kids, all shapes and sizes since COVID's going on, asking me to kick their kids' asses, turn them into, Spartans somehow. So I'll tell you, I thought I was going to have a little break this summer. It has been nonstop with kids rolling in and rolling out of here. Anyway, this week we got a special treat for you. These two women stumbled upon Spartan, as so many people do, and they had an incredible experience. And so I wanted to share those experiences because, I don't know, we've got like 10 million people across 45 countries that have done our race. And when you dive in and start listening to some of these stories about how they found us and how getting out of the comfort zone felt so good, it inspires me. I think it'll inspire you. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you if you've done something hard, if you've done a Spartan race and it was not something you were expecting and it, helped you pivot your life. Or it could be like learning a new language, or who knows, running a 5K or a 10K or taking a cold shower. If you've done something hard and it has affected you and we could learn from it, comment, post, share. Who knows, maybe we'll get you on the farm and you'll be on this podcast.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by Honey Stinger, made with organic honey and delicious ingredients. Use the code HSSpartan2020 at honeystinger.com to save 30% off.
All right, first guest that you're going to hear from, Lani Woods. Lani, she started her own podcast called Unrelenting Human. She's awesome.
My name is Lani. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I have been a Spartan for going on 2 years now. My first experience with Spartan was at the LA Fit Expo. I didn't participate. I saw the Spartan Expo series and I watched people doing it and thought it was awesome and was like, I never could do that. But then later on, I went to the Anaheim Fit Expo. I asked the people, like, can I do it without like racing somebody? And they're like, yeah. So I tried it, and all those things that look so scary to do, like the backwards wall thing, the inverted wall, and hopping the walls and the rings and the monkey bars, I was able to do that. It just felt like being a kid again. And I was so energized after that and motivated. I signed up for the race in Anaheim, the Spartan Race. And at that time, I didn't drive. So the train would take me right there. So I go and I start watching YouTube videos of Spartan races. And so if you know, like the YouTube videos, it shows like the elites. So I go to the beach and I start trying to practice the rope climb, and they have rings at the beach. So I start doing that. And now I'm running on treadmills and I'm doing jumping exercises. So I get to the Spartan Race, and it was, I had no one that would sign up with me. So I went by myself, and everyone there was just normal. They were normal people. And it was amazing. And the funny thing was, I did every obstacle there except the one I practiced the most. I couldn't get the rope climb. So I had to do the burpees. And I was so, I guess, disappointed because I went to that beach and I climbed that rope so much. That totally lit a fire. Like, it just, I couldn't get Spartan off my mind. Like, I just wanted to do more. There was going to be another race in Lebec, which isn't too far. It's like 2 hours away. And so I decided to go. and take the kids. Because now I know that, it's cool, it's fun. I talked them into it. And so we rented a car and we went out there. And my son had his first race and he did dope. He did really good and he loved it as well, as much as me. He looked like a little superhero jumping over the wall in one of the pictures. So, and then me and my daughter did the sprint. So it was a little challenging with the hills. We did not have the proper shoes and she just did not like it at all. She is going to do another one. She realized what she didn't like was the terrain. She didn't like the dirt. Unfortunately, that came to an end because I did a flip on the rings and I landed funny and I basically broke my leg. I tore my ACL. But it didn't stop me. Then I went on Instagram and Facebook and I met these groups or joined these groups and met a lot of people. The groups had challenges to do, like all the people, like when races weren't around, we had running coaches in the group and stuff like that. That's the group Black Spartans that I'm in. And then, do other type of challenge like burpee challenges. And I started doing more and I was doing one leg burpees. And we have an adaptive athlete in the group and he kind of helped me with that. I had it in my head that 2020, this year, I was going to do the Spartan Delta. I'm like, screw this. I'm getting better. I'm going to do the trifecta and the hurricane heats and do the workout tour, the volunteering and the SGX training and get a Delta in 2020. You need these different things in life. It's not just about the one thing. Like you can be athletic as heck, but you still need the leadership qualities and the teamwork and to give back. So I like that. I love giving back. That's my biggest thing. I need to work with the teamwork part though. And I feel like that would help me too. And I feel like I would make some friends doing, the hurricane heats maybe. Still something that I want to do. And I do want to do the SGX training or the obstacle specialist, whichever, because I want to help kids that are in my community to learn how to do these obstacles and stuff properly. So they won't be so afraid to do these endurance type sports and to, do OCR to participate and get more people out there. That's basically it. And so I was trying to figure out a way that I could help out in that way because I don't want to see people hurt and I do want to see more people active. So I figured what better way than to train people myself? Don't be afraid to get dirty. For a lot of people are afraid of the mud for some reason. They see the dunk wall or something and they don't want to get in it. And it's just dirt. When we're kids, we play in the dirt all the time. Well, we used to. I don't know about the kids these days, but we weren't afraid of these things. It's just like being a kid again. It's like embrace your inner child. You're going to get out there. You're going to play in the dirt. You're going to jump on things. You're going to swing off things. You're going to fall. And you're going to smile and have a good time while doing it. It's going to build character. It's going to make you feel powerful when you leave. You're going to be very happy that you did it. You're going to feel like you accomplished something, and you did. Now it's like, yeah, I have this love for OCR, and I love being a part of the Spartan community and all the people that I meet. I've made so many friends. So it's not just a race. It is, it's a community.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by Honey Stinger. Honey Stinger is made with organic honey and delicious ingredients. Honey Stinger's waffles, energy chews, gels, and bars give you the fuel you need to push harder, go further, do all the things that we do as Spartans. For training and racing, you need convenient nutrition that tastes great and works. Honey Stinger is Spartan's official on-course nutrition. It's made with real honey. Honey Stinger started with a simple plan: wholesome ingredients, great taste, and, of course, honey. Why does Honey Stinger use honey? Using an ingredient engineered by nature, not in a laboratory, it has its benefits. In fact, the less you mess with Mother Nature, the better. That's why they're committed to the True Source Honey Pledge. And they've got a special code just for our audience. You can save 30% with the code HSSpartan2020. That's HSSpartan2020 at honeystinger.com to save 30% off. just for our Spartan Up podcast listeners.
And then Laura Mignot, CEO of DFLASH, stumbled upon the Spartan Race, ended up doing the whole thing. Wait till you hear this. I want to hear from you if you've done something hard. If you've done a Spartan Race and it was not something you were expecting and it, I don't know, helped you pivot your life. If you've done something hard and it has affected you and we could learn from it, comment, post, share. Who knows? Maybe we'll get you on the farm and you'll be on this podcast.
I came out to California to work on a project with Spartan Race. And when I got there, I had no idea that I was going to be doing a race. So my idea was go check out the race, talk to some of the contestants, talk to some of the staff so I could get some, kind of like focus group in a way, and then take my findings back to the team over at Spartan. If you had told me 24 hours before that I would be climbing 1,000-foot mountain, not a thing I would have thought about doing. I don't like those sorts of sports. Like, I don't like getting dirty. I don't like, like climbing things. I like basketball, baseball, tennis. I looked around and realized I am in no way, shape, or form in shape for this. Like, I work out 4 or 5 times a week, but I'm doing like cardio and like spinning, like, jumping over like hills and such is not really the thing that I tend to do. Also, I live in New York City, so where am I going to find a hill to jump over? It's not like that's my neck of the woods. So it was definitely intimidating, but when I got there, everyone was just really nice. The staff was lovely, and the people who were participating were just friendly and warm, and I got the feeling that I was in a comfortable space, even though it was new and obviously very intimidating. When you think about walking into that corral and you have no idea what you're walking into, it kind of feels like a rock concert when you've gone by yourself. Because again, I had done this by myself. Well, everybody else there came with a buddy. But the cool thing was, even though I had gone there by myself, I quickly just started chit-chatting with some folks who were there, and they were talking about the race. And a lot of the fear and anxiety I had about it kind of was going away. But again, in my head, I was still like, oh, I'm going to do a couple of these obstacles, then I'm out. I had no idea that, you climb over walls, you pick up giant medicine balls, you walk across a balance beam, you go under barbed wire. None of this was in my, again, I think it was one of those things, ignorance was bliss, because had I known what this was, no way I would have done it. Funny thing about how a Spartan Race starts is they basically say, go, and the first thing you have to do is climb over this, like, I don't know, maybe 8-foot wall. So a guy was there and oh, I'll help give you a boost over. And I was like, what have I gotten myself into? And then I saw the lovely family who would end up sort of adopting me for the entire race. And they're like, hey, do you need some help? I'm like, yes, please. And they helped pull me out of the little mud pit. And they're like, are you by yourself? I'm like, yeah. They're like, why? I was like, well, I'm not supposed to be doing this race. I'm just doing a little research, like focus grouping stuff. He's like, do you want to keep going? And I was like, well, yeah. And they're like, well, then come with us. We'll show you. And I have to say, like, the Moreno family was just the loveliest people on earth. And I would not have been able to do this race without them, because they know me from a hole in the wall. And they basically became my family over the course of 4 hours, where they helped me do all the obstacles, and showed me how to complete them. I had no idea why I said yes when they asked if I wanted to keep going. And I guess, maybe part pride, part, if I tend to do something, I tend to go all in. Like, I founded my company almost 10 years ago, never having planned events in my life, but I did know what I wanted and what I didn't want. And I'm like, I can do a better job than this. And so I'll just go ahead and do it. And that's how we started our company. Yeah. And, we ended up building a phenomenal company that works for people like Spartan and Netflix and Amazon, because, I never took it as these are the way you're supposed to do things, but these are things I got to do. And so I think the same thing with this race where, it's probably going to be a thing where, for me, I just got to keep going. Favorite, but obviously most terrifying obstacle was this A-frame thing above. Because again, as I said, I don't climb things, I shock. But then I was looking at it and I was like, okay, so the math nerd in me was like, well, wait a minute. This sort of looks like an isosceles triangle. Like that means I could probably like figure this out. And so I did. And I remember like putting my foot in like the first loop and then realized, okay, I'm not using my full weight to pull this up. It's actually like stepping. And so, okay, that could work. All right. And slowly but surely, I got to the top of it. The one foot in front of the other, backwards and down, and just slowly but surely. And then, and when you're done, you get this huge rush of like, again, doing this stuff you never thought you were capable of, gives you this immense set of pride and gratitude, but also just like amped, like, yeah, which can carry you through the day. I didn't think that that was something that I could do. And I think part of the reason why it was so meaningful to complete the race was that you don't choose when you have your challenges, you choose how you react. And, you know, I felt like now that I'm doing this, I can't back out of this. Like that for me felt like I have to keep going because I would be disappointing myself if I didn't complete this. And I think looking back on what's happened over the last few months of the pandemic and everything's happening in the US right now, I do find that I think being stronger than I thought I was has been a really indelible part of me being able to deal with this year. One of the things I can now fully say is Spartan for everyone is, you know, with the experience, Spartan's for everybody. So young, old, black, white, gay, straight, doesn't matter. You know, you have this really awesome community that you didn't know was available to you. And I think that was probably the kind of beautiful surprise of it all.
All right, listen, really interesting to listen to 2 points of view. Imagine how I feel when there's 8,000 people going through a course. Every one of those stories is different. So it just goes to show you, I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. We want to hear those different stories. Comment, share, post. Maybe we'll pull you and get you on the farm so that the whole world could hear your story. And maybe it'll inspire them to start a business or start a extreme wellness journey for themselves or who knows what. But the magic happens when you get outside your comfort zone, and that's what we do. That's what we're experts at. Look, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. We got this virus. You're locked down. We don't even know if school's going to start. Don't give up on yourself. 2021 is right around the corner. Get a date on the calendar. Get something big to look forward to. We know this works. We know this works from World War I, World War II, the Great Depression. Throughout history, when people have something to look forward to, they get it done. It keeps them moving every day. So get something on the calendar, 21. Get your shit together. Remain optimistic. And look, if you have a really tough time, you could always come to the farm. I'll make it worse, and then you'll appreciate where you are now. I'm out of here, guys. You're awesome. Subscribe, share, post, comment. Do whatever the hell you do in these digital ecosystems, and we'll be fine. See you next week.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by Honey Stinger, made with organic honey and delicious ingredients. Use the code HSSpartan2020 at honeystinger.com to save 30% off.